What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Dean Thomas reveals huge concern for Khamzat becoming champion. When Khamzat Chimaev first joined the UFC, he broke the record for the fastest turnaround between wins in just his first 2 fights. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. In the 5 years since his debut, however, Chimaev has had a number of bouts fall through and has dealt with a slew of health problems, leading Dean Thomas to believe that it would be a disaster for the UFC if Chimaev beats Dricus du Plessis at UFC 319. During a recent episode of The Bonfire, he weighed in on the concerns that would come with Chimaev being a UFC champion.
No, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. If Khamzat wins, it's a disaster. Actually, you can't tell me that a part of you is just like thinking this fight actually might not happen.
Of course, we've seen things go disastrous at the last minute, so something's in the back of the mind, but I don't know.
Some of these guys are just habitual in terms of not making it to the dance. I'm not gonna be pessimistic about it and say he's gonna show up. But my point is that if he does show up and he does win, do we trust him to be able to fight again? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing, is like, can he do it twice, 2 or 3 times? Because we need movement. Like, I hate when it's just like static, when there's no movement in these divisions. And in order for there to be movement in the divisions, the champions have to fight.
Correct.
And if
there's a lot of contenders, and all these guys are going to want their chance, and if the title isn't defended until Abu Dhabi next October or something, right, like 14 months from now, then we have some serious problems.
In the meantime, while there's been some concern that something will happen and his fight with DDP will fall through, Chimaev has been training in the United States and enjoying himself. During a recent video he shared on his Instagram, the undefeated contender can be seen dishing out a clutch off-the-wall assist on the pitch. While the UFC's booked Caio Borralho as the backup, hopefully the UFC 319 main event goes off without a hitch. Arman Tsarukyan interested in Justin Gaethje fight. Recently, we've been reporting this ongoing situation of UFC fighters not interested in fighting Arman Tsarukyan. Well, during a recent episode of Chuck Liddell's podcast, Arman called out Justin and said that it's only fair if they fight for the #1 contender spot for the lightweight title.
Who would you fight if you had a chance? Who you want? Top on your list?
Of course I want Islam, but like right now, it makes sense to fight with Gaethje, because he's coming. He just beat the number 11 or 12 Fizier. He doesn't deserve title fight. That's 100%, because he lost just Holloway, beat on short notice. He beat Fizier. Fizier knew about the fight 5 days and like came and won him. He won him barely decision, you know. And now he's talking about title fight. It's not fair, and that's why I think he gotta beat me to deserve for the title, fight for the title.
As many of you know, Justin has come out and said he feels like he deserves a title shot next, and if he's not granted one, he is looking to retire. Do you think Gaethje will be interested in a fight with Arman? And how do you see that fight playing out? Benoit Saint-Denis huge feud with UFC coach. Following Benoit Saint-Denis' loss to Dustin Poirier at UFC 299, the God of War parted ways with longtime coach Daniel Warden, who had worked with MMA legends like Anderson Silva, Lyoto Machida, and Dan Henderson. Since then, it sounds like the relationship between the two has gone from bad to worse, with Warden notably airing out the situation on the French Biomechanique podcast. According to him, the split came down to money. MMA Arena quoted him as saying, "Our split was purely about money, not skills. When you get dumped by a text message, well, a phone call, it hurts." Benoit is really below all those guys. He's very well known, but he doesn't hold a candle to them. Maybe he'll get there. We hope so for him. Shortly after, Brave CF champion Amin Ayoub, who is friends with Saint-Denis, stuck up for the French contender, revealing that Warden isn't telling the entire story. In a post written in French on his Instagram story, he hit back at the famed coach. His post appears to translate to, "The problem with Daniel is that he kind of comes across like a toxic ex. He lost his golden goose, and now the story he's telling is biased by the interests he's trying to protect. Why doesn't he mention that just 1 week before a fight, he demanded a sum of money from Benoit, threatening not to be in his corner otherwise?" That's the issue with people. When you tell a story, make sure you also include the parts that don't necessarily make you look good. So far, it doesn't appear as though BSD has weighed in publicly. Sean Brady calls out Shavkat Rakhmonov at MSG. With Islam Makhachev moving up to 170 and a title fight with Jack Della Maddalena inevitable, Sean Brady is looking to stay active. During a recent episode of he and Joe Pyfer's Brady Bags podcast, the streaking welterweight contender called out Shavkat Rakhmonov.
That I think, from what I've heard, Usman and Bilal are probably fighting, so that takes those guys off the table for me. It just sucks where I'm at. I'm trying to get a fight, and I don't want to go back too far. Like, Ian's already number 6, so I don't know who else is that, but I seen through a little birdie that that Shavkat was saying something about him coming back in November or December. So if he's coming back in November, I want to fight soon, but I would wait and fight him at MSG on the same card as Jack and Islam, and then that's a true number 1 contender fight. Because he was guaranteed a fight. I beat the number 1 guy. Whoever wins that will be the true number 1 contender. So I would like to do that.
As MMA Junkie's Nolan King pointed out, it's pretty awesome to see all the top contenders at welterweight trying to stay active and fight one another instead of holding out for a crack at the title. Of course, there's no telling when the Nomad will be back in action again. Earlier this week, MMA Fighting confirmed with Daniel Rubenstein, Rakhmonov's manager, that Rakhmonov's wife and his son were involved in a car accident on Sunday, while 2 other occupants of the vehicle, who were reportedly friends of Rakhmonov's wife, didn't make it. The welterweight contender's wife and son are reportedly in stable condition. Jorge Masvidal calls out Colby Covington for UFC White House. Since Jorge Masvidal announced his plans to unretire and return to the UFC, there's been little news regarding the original BMF's return. In the meantime, Masvidal is looking to take matters into his own hands by calling out Colby Covington for a rematch at the White House. During a recent interview with Casino Hawks, Masvidal revealed that if need be, he'll even call Trump to make sure he gets on the UFC's White House card. Donald Trump was the only Republican to ever win in Miami in the last 30 years, or something crazy like that. Trump said it himself, Masvidal is my favorite. He won me Miami, Florida, so Trump, that one favor I need, get me on the White House card, brother. Let's go. I'll call Trump myself. I got his number on speed dial. I'll call him. I'll call my brother Marco Rubio. I'll call everybody in this town. Get me there. I want to fight on that White House card on July 4th. It'll be the most American thing possible. I wouldn't mind fighting Colby. I would love to take his head off in front of the White House lawn. I don't think UFC will care to book Colby for anything, but who knows? I would love that fight. From the sounds of things, Masvidal isn't the only one eager to book a fight with Covington next summer. During a recent interview with MMA Fighting, Gabriel Bonfim also called out the former interim champion following his win over Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, saying that with the rest of the division pretty much all booked up, a fight between the two makes sense. Given Covington's support of Trump, the expectation is that he will end up fighting on the White House card. The big question, of course, is who he'll fight. UFC updates. Following an action-packed fight night card in Abu Dhabi, let's take a look at today's UFC updates, starting with an update on Amir Albazi's withdrawal from this weekend's card. In the wake of the UFC finding a short-notice replacement opponent for Tatsuro Taira, Albazi shared an update with fans via social media regarding his withdrawal. I'm heartbroken to announce that I won't be fighting on August 2nd. I finished my whole training camp and did everything I could, but I wasn't medically cleared in time. The UFC and the commission made the call for my safety. I respect their decision even though I wanted to step into the cage and take care of business. I'll be back stronger and better. This is just a setback, not the end. Thank you to my fans, my team, and everyone who supports me through the ups and downs. We also have a change to the upcoming UFC Vegas 109 card on August 9th. Following the withdrawal from Young Sung Park, former title challenger Steve Erceg will now collide with Ode Osborne, who is coming off a win over Luis Gurula back in April, which snapped a 3-fight skid. Next up, we have an update on Gilbert Burns, who's looking to throw down with Daniel Rodriguez when he's ready to return to action. As Burns revealed to MMA Junkie, however, he's been dealing with a concussion.
Looking forward for December. I had a little concussion and still not able to come back. So still got to get a couple more things on the protocol to get able to be back to training. It's still like taking it easy a little bit. It was a harder one. But yeah, looking forward for December. I just saw Daniel Rodriguez just got a nice win against Kevin Holland. He's ranking now. I think that should be a fun one. Me and Daniel Rodriguez, December, maybe January. Let's see how the concussion protocol goes, but that's one that I'm looking forward to.
Shortly after Burns' call-out, D-Rod accepted via Instagram. We also have an update on the middleweight rankings following this past weekend's card in Abu Dhabi. With his win, Reinier de Ridder is now ranked 5 at 185 pounds, while on the flip side, Robert Whittaker exits the top 5 for the first time in just over 8 years and lands at number 8 on the UFC.com rankings. The UFC has announced that a bout between Dominic Reyes and Carlos Ulberg will headline the UFC Perth card in September. Yesterday, we reported that Reinier de Ridder fired back at Paulo Costa for his comments. In the tweet, RDR called out Paulo Costa to fight in November. After the comments, it was revealed by Ali Abdelaziz on X that the account was fake, which was later reposted by RDR on his Instagram. We'd like to apologize for this mistake. This account literally fooled everyone in the MMA community. Heck, even Paulo Costa fired back at the comment for the MSG callout by saying, "I fight you, de Ridder MMA, not promise I gonna hug you for 15 minutes, yeah. You look a little strange, but you're not really a woman, and I don't need wait till November for this smoke you."
A Twitter account, or what I thought was a Twitter account of yours, calling out Paulo Costa for a fight in MSG this November, but then I see Ali reply saying this is a fake account. So just to clarify, you don't want to fight Paulo Costa in MSG in November?
No, I think it was Paulo Costa himself. I think he had both accounts going on, I think.
But in all seriousness, we apologize for the mistake and will do our best to not let this happen again. Moving on, earlier today, Conor McGregor was tested by the UFC. It looks like he is actually serious about returning back to the octagon, but only time will tell. Who do you want to see Conor McGregor fight next in the UFC? Let us know in the comments below. And last but not least, Merab Dvalishvili is back doing Merab Dvalishvili things, ahead of his upcoming fight with Corey Sandhagen in October.
You guys think he's joking, bro? He does not care at all. This is scary.
So can I touch? Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't hesitate.
I told her not to eat you. I told her do not eat Merab. Can you come with me? Let's go. Up. Come on. We're gonna have to smash her. He doesn't come out. Come on, let's go. Come on. Wow. Come on, buddy. Where do you get that? This is nuts. When she doesn't even talk, she doesn't get it. I have her some baby. Look.
Amazing.
Hey, Tiger.
Hey, Tiger.
Hello, friend. Hey, Tiger. Hey, Tiger. Let's go.
Jon Anik not happy with UFC referee. Much like many other members of the MMA community, Jon Anik wasn't too happy with how much punishment referee Jason Herzog allowed Muhammad Yahya to take in his fight with Steve Wynn on Saturday. Wynn managed to drop Yahya a historic 6 times before the fight was called off between rounds due to swelling under Yahya's eye. However, the way Jon Anik sees things, Herzog should have stepped in much sooner. During Monday's episode of the Anik and Florian podcast, he weighed in. "What are we doing in the form of fighter safety? Maybe I should call my friend, Jason Herzog, who I really do love, and be like, hey Jason, it's John. Do me a favor and just stop the fight?" My thesis statement always is, what are doing in the form of fighter safety? The ends don't justify the means. If there's a rally and a fight of the year ensues, just because Muhammad Yahya doesn't have an orbital fracture doesn't mean that heretofore, it doesn't mean he's going to pay dearly for this. I felt like the fight should have been stopped, I do believe, because we're not assessing concussive damage live in the moment, but after a myriad of knockdowns. I'm not saying there should be a knockdown rule in mixed martial arts, but it does exist for a reason. After 6 or 7 of these things, we can stop the fight. So far, Herzog has yet to respond to the criticism. However, as we saw following Henry Cejudo's fight with Song Yadong, which ended as a result of an eye poke, Herzog owned up to his mistake after the fact. Dan Hooker goes off on the UFC for ticket situation. Before Dan Hooker called out Arman Tsarukyan for a fight in November, the fan favorite was looking to return on the September card in Perth, despite the fact that he's still recovering from hand surgery in March. After the UFC canceled tickets to watch his teammate Kai Kara France compete for the title at UFC 317, the Hangman man is done being a company man. As he explained during a recent episode of Submission Radio, he found out that the UFC canceled his UFC 317 tickets after he'd already flown to Vegas. And from the sounds of things, it may have been because he skipped out on a media event. They tried to get me out of bed at 7:30 in the morning Eastern time. The UFC booked me for some which is 3 in the morning New Zealand time. I didn't even go out. I had an early night, but I'm not getting out of bed at 3 in the morning to do just about anything. I slept in and I didn't go to the UFC thing. They canceled my tickets to Kai's fight, and then so it's like, I'm gonna rush back and fight injured for a company that's gonna cancel my tickets to the event when I've traveled all the way to Las Vegas? I would have fought injured, but then someone at a desk has crossed my name off a list. You work in the office, brother. I work in the... You'd think there would be a bit more respect there for guys who literally give their life. The amount of blood, sweat, and tears I poured into putting shows on for that company, I thought there would have been a bit more respect there, but there's not, which is cool. Business is business. We can fight on my terms then. I'm not going to break my back for a company that doesn't respect me. Perhaps at an upcoming post-fight press conference, we'll get to hear Dana White's side of the story. MMA community roasts Joe Rogan for footage. Joe Rogan is under fire for a recent episode of the JRE with Khalil Roundtree after Rogan praised and reacted to a video of Khabib Nurmagomedov. The issue was, the clip he was praising was AI generated and not real, and neither Joe nor Khalil realized during the episode. Here's the clip.
Someone was interviewing him, and they were talking about different addictions that fighters fall to and different things that sidetrack people. And he's like, the best addiction is discipline. And he was talking about his discipline. The best addiction is discipline. You got to become addicted to discipline, addicted to heart training, completely addicted to that. Here it is. Listen to this.
Every man addicted to something. Some smoke, some drink, some chase girls, some whiskey. But real man, he addicted to discipline, to early wakes, to prayer, to training, to silence. Discipline no need motivation. Discipline move without feeling. Discipline say, I go anyway, even when tired, even when lonely.
I'm going to use that as my morning wake up now.
Do you know that? That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah. Shout out to Khabib. I mean, that's why he is who he is.
The MMA community roasted Joe for believing AI Khabib. Here's what they had to say. My guy's becoming more intolerable to listen to every day. I can understand Joe, but how Khalil fell for that too. Someone could scam Joe out of millions right now with Khabib AI. Braza, we need 10 million. We start and train guerrilla grappling in Dagestan. Rogan always talks about AI this and AI that, but still fell for it? It's crazy to have all that money and still be easily tricked by fake. Bro, come on, that is not how Khabib would talk. The amount of AI deepfakes Joe falls for and proceeds to bring up on his show is honestly mind-blowing. I'll cut him some slack though, hard to differentiate at his age. Joe Rogan falls for anything. Did you fall for the AI video of Khabib like Joe? Or could you tell right away that it wasn't the eagle speaking? Let us know down below. We have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day.